Well, here I am, playing Minecraft for my channel. Figured I would just give it a go and kind of just go through some things with you. I'm not really one to do much with games like this, but I figured why not try it anyway. So, this is like one of my most favorite games of all time, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some things that I need to get off my chest, so let's go ahead and let's just do a peaceful world. And let's call it Peace Walk. And we're just basically going to go from here. God, I don't want to play online. I don't. Okay. Now, the biggest reason why I wanted to do something like this is because I just feel like I have to get some things off my chest. And it looks like we spawned in a snow biome. But basically, let me just start off by saying that I really haven't been like myself these last few weeks to months. I mean, yeah, I kind of seem to be doing okay in some regard, but overall, I just feel like my life is just nothing because I just have such bad problems. And if you guys relate to these problems, then maybe feel free to talk about it. Um, but basically, I just I feel like I've been doing shitty these last few months because I've been trying to get my life turned around in some way, and it honestly feels like everything I'm doing is just not working. Like I I'm trying to work out Monday to Friday, which is something, but really it just I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't really do much for my mental health. If anything, I think it makes it worse because it just I just feel like I got so much stuff on my back, and it's like how am I supposed to deal with all of it, you know? Now, I might not be making any sort of sense throughout the rest of this video, but mostly I'm just gonna be kind of walking around this place, just talking to you. So, um, honestly, I feel like I needed something to get everything off my chest, and I just wanted to basically just let off some steam and kind of get into the reason as to why I haven't been uploading much. Uh, I've been struggling with really bad mental problems for a long time. Uh, for one thing, well, I'm autistic, but another problem is I have really bad anxiety and depression because I've. It just feels like within such a short span of time that I've gone through so much and not even given a single break. So it's like okay, what's your point? Like, what do you want me to do, life? And I don't know. It almost seems like things in my life are just going to hell, and I'm just letting it go there for no reason at all. And it's like I need to do something, but I can't at the same time. So I don't really know what's happening sometimes. But that's not all. I also have IED, which is intermittent explosive disorder, which leaves me prone to like really bad fits of rage. Like, how do I explain this? I feel like the Hulk in some sort of way because it feels like I have a monster deep inside me that just wants to be let out, and I can't get it out because I don't want it out because I know that bad things are gonna happen if he or she or it does. It's like I'm stuck with my own personal demons, and I I don't know. It's just mentally I've been in a really bad place. And as I said, although I have been working out, it hasn't been working these last few 8 months or so. So eventually I might just stop working out there uh, and just I kind of just try to pursue a different uh, trying to pursue something else. So like not a lot of people would probably know about this, but I'm gonna say it. 2020 and 2021, along with 2018, were home to some of the worst times I've ever had in my life. Because on December 13th, I was involved in a school shooting at Dennis Intermediate. And keep in mind, I had lost a friend a year prior to this, so I was struggling with some really bad grief. And then the school shooting just made things worse. So it just like it's just one of the things that kind of piled onto me. So there is that, but also um 2020 was obviously when the COVID pandemic was at its worst. And I don't know, even though the first week of lockdown wasn't bad, I felt like the rest of the time was just spent doing absolutely nothing, but just, I don't know. It just feels like things have really been crumbling apart for me. And then 2021 came around, which was my junior year in high school, and I was so fucking stressed out that I fell into a pit of depression and just like at that point in time I really wanted to just kill myself and end it all because I felt like I was going through too much. So it was like take the pain and live through it or end it all and end your suffering. And that was exactly what I wanted to do for the longest time. But then things in school started to change for me. I had a different schedule, I had different classes, but even then I still felt like something was empty. Then by the time 20 then by the time 2022 came around, I like in January I just decided to try and forget everything and buy two games. And of course those two games were the remake of Resident Evil 2, which by the way is a fantastic game from Capcom. But it was all but the other game was Dark Souls 3. So I spent I think 6 days playing the RE2 remake. Then I spent 3 weeks trying to play Dark Souls 3. And I did manage to succeed, and I finished the game. And I said to so many people that I felt like my mental state was coming back in some way because I started to feel emotions other than sadness and depression, like anger, happiness, and all that. And I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me. Let me actually go ahead and turn off this music because I don't want to be, as much as I love the music in Minecraft, I just have to get some things off my chest. So there was that. And then I think June came around and I was just thinking to myself that I was in a better state of mind because I had practically forgotten most of my mental problems and just let them subsided. And now looking back, I kind of think that was a mistake in some way because it was just me compressing my emotions to a point where even the slightest annoyance could make me explode in a fit of rage. And there are honestly times where I just want to let off some steam in some way, which in some capacity has kind of worked, but kind of had destructive results. Like, I'm going to go a little off topic here and say this. The other night, I was playing Black Ops 6 multiplayer. I went through 2 wins, which wasn't too bad. Then the third game came around, and I kept dying over and over, which is, the loophole of the gameplay loop of Call of Duty's multiplayer. And I quit it, and I got so frustrated that I took one of the broken PS5 controllers that I had and threw it against the couch, where it instead hit the wall and both the bumpers came off. Now, I might show a picture of that at some point. I'm not really sure. But I did upload it to Reddit, and I haven't really gotten much of a response from it. But anyway, it just feels like without the holidays, things are kind of okay. And then by the time the holidays come around, like Christmas and all that, it just feels like things get worse for me because my mental state just drains itself to a really low point. And it's like how am I supposed to fight back against this? How do I how do I make myself feel better if I can't? It was it just feels like there's so much going on in my life and I just don't know what to do. And not to mention this year I've lost 2 friends, not to death, but to other things. Because my first friend, Drayden Holdhouse, who I was friends with for a very long time, his mom, quote unquote, manipulated him into thinking that I was going to explode on him again and destroy everything for him. So she told him to basically say to me that we can't be friends anymore if I can't change in some way. And later that night, I had a talk with some cops because they had heard a noise coming from a neighborhood, which that noise, to be exact, was me screaming. And they they made a good point in which, if a friend is telling you to change in some way or they won't be your friend anymore, then that's basically not a real friend. And then oh god. And then months later, I was at I was here in my home, and my friend Jeremiah calls me, and he tells me that Terry like my friend Terry Snyder got himself stuck in jail. Now, as far as I know, he might be on his way to prison now, but it it fucked with me so hard because when I found out what he did, I was just I don't want to recite that stupid meme, but my my disappointment was so immeasurable that my entire month was ruined after that because he had gotten himself involved in fucking I don't even remember what it was, and honestly I don't want to remember. So it's like why would you do this? Why? And it's like when you did that crime, what the fuck were you thinking? And honestly, I just I haven't been feeling like myself since then. Not to mention, I'm also heavily affected by celebrity deaths. Like, uh, like when Kevin Conroy died 2 years ago today. Well, maybe it's not today by the time you're watching this, but when he died on November 10th, I it took me a full-on week to break down into tears into my mother's arms because something about Conroy just struck me. Like, he was the first Batman actor that I was ever exposed to, all thanks to the game Batman Arkham Asylum, which I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get back to it, but I might. I I don't fucking know. But it just feels like ever since then, I've been so affected by other celebrities that I know of. And recently, we fucking lost Candyman Tony Todd. And now it's like there's two icons from my past years of life just gone like that. And it, it's like I don't know what to do. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. It's just like there's so much shit going on that it's practically impossible to manage all of it. And like even though I love in some way making videos for you guys, sometimes I feel like my life is just going nowhere. And it's not a sign of me saying, "Oh, I don't want to make videos anymore." No. This is just me being dead fucking serious. So, like, it's like the holidays are just, like, especially Christmas time. That's like the worst time of the year for me. Because my depression kicks in, I start to get all moody, I feel like shit. And it's like I just don't know what to do. So it's like, do I want to manage this or do I just want to let it or do I want to let it control me? I may not be going I might not be making any sense here, but I'm just pouring my god awful feeling heart onto you guys. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. Like, look into my character's eyes, and maybe we can make things a little more clear. It just feels like things have been declining, like a really bad roller coaster ride. Like, it starts off promising with like a 70-foot or 110-foot drop, and then it's like a fucking straight up train track into a train yard, and you don't go back to the beginning of it. Like, you're stuck in that train yard for probably the entirety of the day. And, it's, I don't know. I, I don't know. Like, I've just honestly been trying to keep myself in a positive state of mind, but it's fucking impossible for me with all of these mental problems that I have. Not to mention that I went through my graduation ceremony in June, and that's where things kind of started to break down for me. After June, after the time I had with my brother, going to Chipotle for the first time, going bowling and all of that, it, it just felt like there was nothing in my life. And it still feels like that today. If it fucking feels like this months later, 5 months later, and I don't know. I I need to fucking stop saying that, but I legitimately and honestly don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. It's like when you get it's like when you're playing Resident Evil or Silent Hill or any fucking survival game in the horror genre that has like a really difficult puzzle that you can't get past, and you're just sitting there perplexed, like, what am I supposed to do? Do I look up a guide or do I just continue by myself? So it just, my whole life is a fucking Resident Evil puzzle at this point in time, and I am struggling so hard to finish the puzzle that I can't even make it to the second or like other parts of the story that I am trying to get to. And that's kind of the whole reason why I'm making this video, just to let you guys know how I've been doing and all of that. So it, like, a lot of people in my family have told me that working out at the gym is a good way to relieve some stress, but I find it doesn't, because I have to wake up every fucking morning with the thought of going to the gym just to work some anger out. And it's not even like the anger is fully gone by the time I'm done with my workout. So it's like there's a little bit of Manus' fragments from Dark Souls that are like, it's one of the fragments of his soul that is stuck inside me. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the lust for power, maybe it's the incessant hatred for everything. I don't know. So it's honestly just a point in time where eventually you're gonna break down and maybe even cry. Because God knows that has happened to me multiple times on many occasions. So it just feels like, like, if you guys feel like that your life is falling apart, don't worry, I'm fucking there with you. Because I just, it, I don't know. It just feels like that things are just really going to shit, and I'm on that fucking shit plane to Shitsville, California. No, not that. Fucking Shitsville, Texas. Because from what I've heard, Texas is a horrible place to live in. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to just make this video to get some things off my mind and maybe kind of talk about the channel for a bit, because honestly, I don't know the direction this channel is going to be going anytime soon. So it may be just a matter of time before I start making up my mind and thinking about what I want to do for the rest of it. Because last month I went golfing for the first time and I fucking loved it. I've had a fascination with golf ever since I was a baby. And playing at a golf course kind of helped to relieve some stress from me. And don't get me wrong, other activities like fishing and walking and all that can probably do the same thing, but it just didn't feel the same as walking on a golf course with an older guardian of yours that provided you some sort of advice on how to play the game. And it's just like I don't know what's going on in my life, and it's only a matter of time before things get worse. So it's like I need to hurry up and make my mind about something, well, make up my mind about something, or just risk looking like a goddamn idiot in front of like maybe 20 to 50 people. So it it just the whole point I'm trying to make is if you're going through a mental struggle, then don't be afraid to ask for help. Because I haven't, and I feel like I just feel like a fool for not doing it so soon. Because I just feel like I have so much on my mind to talk about, and I don't know where the fuck to start. And it it just feels like my life is this constant spiral of happiness, anger, depression. It's a spiral between these three things, and the latter two, depression and anger, are at a never-ending civil war in my head, trying to determine what emotion I should feel primarily. And I don't want any of those emotions. I just want to be myself. And it honestly feels like it's just way too hard with everything in my life that's going on. And it, it just it just makes me feel like I'm at a loss here. So, if you're going through a struggle like me, then for the love of God, talk to somebody. Don't make the same mistake I did trying to hide it all. Because in the end, I've got a lot of pent up frustration and depression to let out. And it just feels like I need a source of someone who will be there to listen to me. And although my family is a good consideration, there's just something about my inside that just it doesn't scream I want to be happy. It screams I want to be normal in some way. Like I just want to be able to experience other emotions other than just depression and anger. And it just it feels like this whole loophole of something and I can't get out of it. That's all for today. I am I am sorry that you guys can't hear me or anything, but I hope that you guys understood a good bit of it. So, I guess I'll sign off here and just try to go through the rest of the day like normal. So, thank you all for watching and hopefully listening to me. Sorry to go on a tirade like that, but I just had a lot of things to get off my mind and my chest. So, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye, people.